100%. 921, welcome back to our daily show. Talking trash with Rusty, Wheat, and the Chain Gang. Life's looking pretty good for you right now, man. How's it feel?
Well, it's kind of actually indecisive, Right now, I'm having one of those days where I'm just kind of feeling kind of lost. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think we've finally come to a remedy, what I see as a remedy on the trash situation. But before I get into that, I want to give my Earth Day a plug. We're having our Earth Day tomorrow, Earth Day Madison County Cleanup. And we're going to be meeting at the corner of Madison Avenue and Wanda Road at 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about that. Senator Harris is sponsoring an event in the Wood River, a recycling event in Wood River, but she said she's going to stop by ours first and do a photo shoot. Roxanna Mayor Marty Reynolds will be there. I think Representative Amy Elk's going to show up. Roxanna has a new position as city administrator, and that's Jason Woody. He was formerly the Wood River
Park and
Rec. Right? He's going to be there as well. Chris Slusher, the newly elected Madison County Board Chairman, is going to be there, along with a few other board members. Mike Babcock and a few others. So I'm pretty excited. We even got the military showing up.
I saw that on your Facebook today.
The ROTC is going to show up in uniform, and they are under orders to be there by their sergeant for a certain amount of time. So it's pretty interesting.
That's awesome, man. That's going to look really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and look at all the different groups you brought together for this,
It is amazing. I was really disappointed in the lack of participation from the churches. Some of the churches wouldn't even post it on their bulletin board because they had an activity going on that conflicted with it in their own. So rather than to put both of them on, they just would have left ours off.
Churches are
they're
tough.
Kind of a funny thing,
tough.
man. It's either you're a Catholic or you're not, or you're a Baptist or you're not, and we wish you well, but go do it with somebody else, I have no disrespect towards them and everything, but I can tell you churches aren't what they used to be. I was disappointed in the lack of participation from the churches.
Yeah.
But other than that, Earth Day is looking up. I'm really excited about it. But the thing is, we don't have as much trash this year as we did last year.
Well, and that's a positive.
It's a very positive, and it brings me back to my dilemma, what we're going to talk about. I've been working on this every day. I write letters and been picking up trash every week. Picked up over maybe close to 250 bags now in my little stretch. And I've watched these trucks all the time, and it's the netting on the trucks that is failing us. The netting sometimes gets dry rotted. Sometimes they get torn by the material that they haul. The boards and stuff, if they're going down the road, it seesaws it like a saw blade.
Right.
And it cuts holes in the netting. And they get sun beat, weather with the winter, ice and such. So they're like any type of rope or strap they wear out. And they're not so advantageous to want to change that out, yearly or whatever. They change them out when they have to. And so in that regards, most of the trash that we're seeing coming down the road off 255 and 70 and such, it's coming off these trucks because they have netting on them. The netting is the problem. That's what's failed us. I looked at all the solutions. I looked for the Madison County board members, and they said it's the police. I went to the police, and they said it was the truckers. I went to the truckers, and they said it was a trucking company. I went to all these different avenues, and I've just come to the conclusion that the only thing that they're going to fix this with is addressing the netting situation.
Yeah. Now, there's some I saw you, and you've said this to me, that there's some states that use actual vinyl tarps, don't they? And they just lay flat
across. It's a heavier tarp. If you're familiar with watching a truck that's hauling gravel down there, they'll have a tarp on it. It's a heavier tarp that needs a crank type system to put it on, take it off. It's a little more labor intensive to do so. But I checked with, say, for instance, one of the landfills I checked with, because their politics are very similar to Illinois. It was up in New York. Seneca County, New York. They have a landfill very similar to the size of ours. Here, the Roxanna landfill. And they're a little older than ours, and they went through some growing pains. They had nets on there like ours, and they've changed over to the tarp system, like we were talking about, the gravel trucks. At any rate, so I checked with, and I didn't get a lot of information from the landfill itself. They're somewhat reluctant to offer information. They don't know who I am, calling from Illinois. And then I checked with the city hall, and they were kind of the same way. They were kind of reluctant to give me all the information. So I called the police department, the Seneca County Police Department, and very gracious and in telling me that there was a huge difference in the amount of trash that's coming off.
I'll be damned, no kidding.
Yeah. What happens is when the tarp gets punctured or whatever, it's an easier fix. They could put some tape or whatever they use to fix it, and it's more easily recognized. When you're looking at a tarp, you can see the puncture wounds and stuff from a pretty good distance. When you're looking at netting, it's not as easy as doing that.
You can be right on it and not see it.
That's what they went to, and it's not the trucking salesman on the tarp or anybody that's trying to tell me this. It's the police that have to enforce this. And so I did just, by doing your research, you come to the conclusion that is the solution. Tarps is the solution. And since then, I've noticed that the landfill has been somewhat more proactive in changing out some of the nets lately. And when they're changing them out, they're using a finer grade of netting. It's a dark netting that it's a finer, closer knit netting. So maybe that's kind of a solution kind of in between. I'm hoping, I don't know how long it lasts, but the problem is it's not careless drivers, it's not so much the checking station, it's the netting. The netting is what's failing us. And I encourage everyone to call your board members and tell them that this can be fixed. And that's why I say I think after today I'm pretty much done. I don't really need to come here and talk about this. I mean, I'll still have my chain gang, and I volunteer with the Collinsville Community Cleanup Crew. I did work with Pride last week, Pride Incorporated. I did part of their annual cleanup, and I'll still do things like that. But as far as writing letters, trying to find a solution, taking pictures, just raising hell with the MBI and raising hell with the board members and stuff. I'm kind of pulled back the reins on that. I think this is a solution, and it's up to them. If they want to fix it, they can. But I was just telling a friend of mine on the way up here, it's like I could give you a box of nails and I could give you a hammer, but I can't make you drive those nails in with a hammer. So it's up to them. They could fix this solution. And the reason I say they could fix this solution is because we put a tremendous amount of pressure on MBI, the trucking firm, just recently. And just recently, I've noticed a significant difference in trash. Like I said, they started changing their nets out. They could stop this problem if they want to.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much the board, what their will is to get this done. I'm hoping with Chris Slusher, the newly elected board member, he wants to go after the trucks, and his capacity was to hold them responsible. But I think he doesn't want to necessarily see the drivers punished as much as he wants a solution, and the solution is withholding their permits until they become in compliance.
Well, and this is a good test for the board too, because they're used to having someone kind of riding them a little bit on this issue, and keeping them honest. But at this point, I get it. I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah. I spoke at the board Wednesday night. I told them this, and I know that there's other people that are in direct opposition to this. I've talked to the head of zoning and planning, Chris DeCliff, and he doesn't see the need for this. He views that, that the tarps can work if they're just changed out periodically. I agree with that too, but why haven't they done it?
Exactly.
I mean, we've been waiting a long time, and they haven't done it until they absolutely a foot is on their throat. And so I've seen a noticeable decline in the trash just the past 5 or 6 weeks. But if we take our foot off their throat, it's just going to get bad again.
It's going to go back to normal.
It's going to go right back to again. So that we've got to figure out a way to and the only way I can see it is if enforce it is to make them have a certain type of netting or they don't get a permit.
Well, and like you said, I love the tarp idea. It might take you a couple more minutes to get that sucker on and off, but the peace of mind you have is a lot easier than
Well,
that,
I'd
too.
like to claim it as my idea, but there's other people in the parts of the country that figured that out. And they moved on it long before I came in this, but I'll take credit for it locally.
But, back to that point, though, of what you said, you give them the box of nails and the hammer. It's their turn.
Yeah.
And, for any elected official out there, they know at this point the public does care about this, and it became it became a campaign issue. It was such an important
absolutely.
thing. So now it's up to them to do it.
I spoke at last night at the League of Women Voters Club, And obviously today I'm on your podcast, and tomorrow I'll be doing our Earth Day cleanup. So I've just kind of
Sydney's
entrenched
going to be
myself.
there.
Yeah. I believe she said she's going to try and make it.
She's going to go to your Earth Day cleanup first. I'm going to set up at the Mushroom Festival, just the morel mushrooms, nothing fun.
I'd rather go to the other one.
And then we're going to circle back and kind of rendezvous for a Saturday.
I told her if she could just come for the photo shoot. The photo shoot is so important to me.
It is.
That's just someone saying that I believe in what you're doing and I'm here.
Well, and we do.
You don't have to stick around. I mean, if you want to stick around for 5 minutes or 2 hours, that's up to you. We don't have as much trash this year, so consequently, we're going to be stretching out and doing a little further down the road. We're doing two areas, and I think that'll work out good. The end result is probably get about the same amount of material in less time. I'm expecting we'll be done about 11 o'clock.
Absolutely.
But when I was getting back to Sydney, I'm so happy that she's coming because, like I say, it's going to be such a good opportunity. We're going to have the military there, and hopefully Senator Harris will be there. Sydney will be there. Denise Sparks, God love her. She's the most responsible. And if nobody does business with Sparks Trash Service, you really ought to consider it for this one only. I pick up trash all the time from Republic trash trucks, all the time. I never pick up anything from Denise's vehicles. I go by, the trash is always secured. I don't even think she'll pick up your trash if you don't have it in a bag.
That's 100% true.
So
100%.
I've called her on it before. I know she talks to her crew. She's very conscientious about it. Whenever the Sparks vehicles go by, they see me out there. They always honk and wave. Sometimes they'll stop. And I can't say enough about if you're conscientious about our environment, give Denise Sparks a call. She does everything she can to keep our community clean.
Well, and let me on top of that too, and if you're conscientious about supporting your community, because Denise does some really cool stuff for the community throughout the year, like the free Christmas tree pickup programs, and I think it's cool if someone's older and they don't want to move out of their home and go to a nursing home, they'll have their crew go in, Rusty, and take the trash right out of the kitchen for them and take it out for them. So that way, they call it valet trash service, so that way that older adult that maybe has some mobility or lifting issues doesn't have to worry about it too.
What you're telling me is news to me. I don't know very little. I know very little about Denise. I've met her just in my regards, picking up trash and stuff. But I'm very impressed with her, and I don't have any no business association with her. So the plug that I'm giving her now is just from the heart. She honestly cares about our streets and our environment. So do your homework, give her a call. Get rid of the big box people that don't care about your neighborhood.
Exactly, and haven't been to my damn house in 3 weeks. Yeah, my trash is still sitting there, Rusty. Anyway, back to Rusty. Sierra, it's true. It's just still sitting there at my house. It hasn't gotten picked up. Sierra Club, fill me in. What's going on with them?
Well, as I was talking, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I was sitting looking up to the good Lord above, trying to figure out what he wants me to do next. I'm still going to continue to pick up my trash. But lo and behold, I got a phone call this morning from the Sierra Club, and they could not attend my Earth Day event. Or the Madison County Earth Day event, but they would like to get involved and do some other things with me, and that kind of
so cool, man.
Yeah, because I don't know. I've been up against Sierra Club before when I was doing road construction, and all I remember is IDOT said, "Don't mess with Sierra."
Yep.
those people are a pain in the ass, and you'll end up giving in. So when she called, I thought I'm going to check into this because this may be my calling. That's the problem I have with this. I'm a very passionate person when I get into these types of opportunities or jobs or whatever, and sometimes I ruffle a lot of feathers. As Mr. Slusher said, sometimes I could be a little bombastic, and I really can't do anything about that. It's just for trying to use it to my advantage.
Right.
I'm aware of it. But sometimes I ruffle feathers and I piss people off, and I got to do a little apologizing later. It comes with the territory, unfortunately for me.
Well, you know what? It's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for approval, you know?
Yeah. It's better to make a good run than a bad stand.
That's right, man. Well, Phil, Cheesecake Lady, did you have her written down? Did you want to plug her?
Yes, I do. I love that woman. If you haven't been to the Cheesecake Lady, obviously I've been to the Cheesecake Lady. But she's got a shop down in Wood River, and that's the best part of Wood River for me is her neck of the woods.
Yeah.
She makes the best cheesecakes, and there's so many different varieties. Lavender lemon is my absolute favorite. I love that woman. I've told my wife I have a deep love for her, and it revolves around the cheesecake.
Well, and Rusty, as we've been talking here, why don't we do this at 9:35? I got to take a quick break, but before I do that, let me fill you in just really briefly. Rusty already hit on Denise. Let me just give you another quick plug. SparksJunkRemoval.net. She is a big supporter of this show, and part of the reasons I can come on and do the show each and every day. She took on the big conglomerate, and you see those purple and yellow trash cans. They're popping up like bunny rabbits. They mated, they're just everywhere now, and it's because folks know that she cares about her community and she cares about customer service. Plus, they're even saving money each month on their trash bill because she's trying her best to keep rates affordable and support local as she gives back local. Whether or not you need her for that trash removal service or if your neighbor just reported you to an alderman, you got to get that junk picked up too. SparksJunkRemoval.net. Reclaim your space today.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car. I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. That's not paradise. That's just a clean roadway because all the trash is starting to get picked up now.
I met Meatloaf once.
Did you really?
Yeah,
no way.
I was taking pictures for the Wood River Journal back then. I had a press pass, and I would go to the MRF every night. And Meatloaf was on, and I got to go backstage and meet him. And he was telling me how he would do these amphetamines, speeders.
Yeah.
He would do these white crosses and drink warm beer before he would go on stage, and it would cause him to sweat a lot. Yeah. I can remember taking his picture. He was standing above me, and he was sweating profusely, and this is my moment of fame,
Was he good live?
Oh, I love Meatloaf, man.
He's good, man. I love Bad Outta Hell. That's an underrated album.
One of these days, he's going to be recognized for the talent that he was,
Well, exactly. And now, getting back to our conversation, we kind of hit on it a little bit, but do you have any understanding of what's next for you on this?
No, I don't. And that's what caused me a lot of grief today because I think the solution is here. And I don't know what else I could do except for I'll pick up, but that's just kind of a hobby from picking up my stress. Yeah. I was hoping to solve this problem, and I think we have.
Yeah.
The problem is getting to people to believe it because they go, oh, that's not true because I've seen a truck, this and that. And there's so many different circumstances, but I'm talking about overall, the long haul, the biggest way to attack this would be to address the netting situation. And in that mind, if they're going to keep the netting, then they have to have someone doing mandatory inspections on those nets, someone other than the landfill.
Yeah,
because
it needs to be third
right
party.
now they have a tower out there where a guy's in the tower, he drives out of the landfill, he inspects it. You could go stand outside the road, outside of the compound there, and you could watch, and he's not there a lot of times. You'll see vehicles, the trucks drive right around the wash station. And that's where Senator Harris is putting this legislation involved with war stations and stuff you're hearing a lot about coming out. But that's wonderful. And I met with Senator Harris the other day. I think she's a wonderful woman, and she's very sincere about what she's doing. But unless there's someone to enforce that, it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. It's like the laws on the book currently, unless someone's going to enforce it.
Well, and you had a really good point with that, because to me, you said, and they could have someone doing an inspection or you name it, but unless you tackle the overall issue of the netting and the tarping issues, because you can have someone sitting on a tower, but you said it perfectly earlier, you can be right on top of those nets and not see a hole. Yeah,
it drives them crazy. I have some friends of mine that work at the landfill out there, and they give me information, tell me this or that.
Yeah.
So I know that people, they're trying to figure out if it's a disgruntled worker or whatever, but they're not disgruntled. They're just people that believe you should. But see, right now, the war station is a volunteer thing. So, more accolades to the landfill for putting that in right now. They don't have to have it, but very, very shortly it's going to be there where they have to have it. But I don't know how they're going to be able to, like I said, you'll see the guy in the tower up there. He's on his cell phone sometimes, and he just waves vehicles on. And sometimes he's not there at all. And I complain about it, and they'll make the call, and he'll be there for the next morning or whatever. But I don't know. I don't mean to paint a terrible picture but what I've seen, I'm just relaying.
Well, and it makes total sense. And for anyone the last couple of years that you've written letters to or you've given phone calls to, I think it's a good check and balance to have have folks like you in the public, because you're going to know if you're doing a good or bad job based on that conversation.
I don't know anything about the Sierra Club. I don't know much about them, put it that way. But I'm open for anything. If someone's got an idea, they want somebody that just sits around and bitches and writes a lot of letters, raises hell, and tries to get something accomplishment, I'm the guy for that. I just don't know what that next step is. You know what I mean? I really don't.
Well, and what I mean, though, is if there's any hurt feelings, though, from, anyone in the board, Rusty, I think they need to really realize that all it is holding someone accountable. If I work here and I don't show up to do a morning show for 5 days, I want to be held accountable.
Yeah, I heard someone's feelings yesterday at the administration building over at Madison County. I was wrong. I got information that was given to me that was incorrect. And I don't usually sit around and wait. I'm a member of the public. I don't usually sit around and do my fact finding on everything. If I hear someone says, hey, Joe is saying this, I'll go to who's Joe's boss and say, Joe has been saying this. He either has or he has not. That's up to his boss to determine. It's no malicious. I'm not trying to get anybody fired or slander them. It's just that if they are doing that, it has to stop. And the way I look at county officials is they've become far too accustomed to doing things the way we've always done it. And that hasn't been working for us. Yep. So if the impression that is MBI is paying a lot of the bills or the landfill is paying a lot of the bills, we need to rethink that. They work for us. They do not work for them.
Yep.
And I like to remind them all the time that they work for us, not for them.
Well, and that's a good point, because it doesn't matter who it is, right, left, up, down, sideways. Once you get in there after a couple of years, you forget the purpose of what the job was.
It's easy to do. You're thankful. You're loyal to the people that give you the paycheck. You become accustomed to the people you're dealing with. You want good relationships. I understand all that. But as the other side of it, there's people like me out there that says, hey, wait a minute, we're not going to put up with that crap.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And it's good, though, because it keeps everyone...
Checks and balances.
100%. That's how you have to have it. And, and what I think's great about this, on the flip side, hindsight being 2020, as a government worker, elected official, you name it, you know that you're doing a good job or something's going well when your phone hasn't rang in 2 weeks for the same issue that you've been getting called on for 3 months.
Yeah, I made my share of mistakes, and I wrote my share of apology letters, but I've also know I've had a lot of accomplishments.
Yes,
a lot of little things have changed. A lot of routes have been rerouted, and things are different. The groups are starting to do more cleanups. I get people that pull up. Yesterday, an individual pulled up to me and talked to me. He was from Brighton. He does his own little cleanups in his area, and he was so happy to see me out there because he had seen something about it, heard something about me, but he'd seen me out there. Senator Harris pulled over the other day. She was driving down the road. She saw me, and she pulled over and said hello. I can't tell you how that fires me up. It just tickles me. It just... After this guy from Brighton left, I went and cleaned up the exits off 255 for about another hour or two.
Gave you the motivation to keep going,
I get so depressed sometimes because I think no one cares, And you just keep picking up trash and you keep trying to keep pushing forward. You go to the League of Women Voters when there's only like 20 people there when it's storming like hell out. You do these little things that you don't want to go. You sit there while they're talking about recycling for 45 minutes, and Jesus, somebody shoot me,
Oh my God.
But it's part of the deal, and it's what I signed up to do, and I'm committed to it, and I firmly believe that we've got the solution. So I am begging the board members and Chris Lusher to act on this, because it's going to drive me crazy for the next century if nothing is done and the trash piles up, and they continually hire these outfits out of county, out of state to clean them up. And that's another issue with me. I'm working on that. Terry Akers, Madison County Board member, is working with David Livingstone, the Assistant State's Attorney, to rewrite that bid procurement policy that gives people in Madison County an opportunity to bid. If we're having a non-skilled labor like me picking up trash, they could hire me cheaper than they can for an outfit out of Missouri, or if they can't, at least hire me because I live here and my taxpayers' dollars will be spent here. Now, I'm not saying don't hire me, but hire an outfit from Missouri. I hire an outfit from Illinois as opposed to Missouri.
Well, and if you can, from the damn county instead of from a different one too, and let's keep it in the county. But another thing, Rusty, I think that's the most important thing you did. This entire process of knowing you, and even though there's been a lot of big things done in trash and really raising awareness, this contract rewrite is really, really important.
I think it's important. I look at some of the things we've accomplished the past year, amongst bringing a lot of notoriety to the situation. Madison County has reinstituted their Adopt a Highway program. They let that die before. Even Edwardsville has opened up their own Adopt a Highway program. We've been able to get anti-litter signs put up by IDOT and put up by Madison County. There's a lot of positives. The only thing I would miss is coming here shooting the shit with you guys.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't want you to leave.
I'm trying to figure out a way I can stay around.
We got to keep doing this because, man, I just love talking to you. Well, and it's because a lot of times, we only see the white collar part of society that wants to address change, and so many of us are just like you, Rusty, that would drive down the road and go, "God damn, that looks terrible," or that looks awful. And it's really refreshing to have you come on and talk to us like we're normal people, number one, but also telling us how you have to lead by example.
Yeah, I firmly believe that. I don't ask anybody to do anything I don't do myself.
100%.
I just absolutely don't. It is somewhat troublesome, and I know the guys that have that Roxanne landfill and legal issues page on Facebook. They have a lot more issues. They live a little closer to the landfill, and their issues are a little different than mine. That is a situation that I don't feel like I could fix. The landfill's not going anywhere.
Right.
But the trash is a situation I feel like I can fix. Unfortunately, the more trash I pick up, the cleaner the roads get. It takes the spotlight off their issues on the landfill.
Right.
And that's kind of unfortunate, but they're tough luck, you know what I mean?
Well, that's another thing too, man. 100%. And now let's get back to Earth Day because we've been talking for a while. Earth Day cleanup, 9 a.m.?
9 a.m. at the corner of Wanda Road and Madison Avenue. That's right off Highway 255, right next to the historic Wanda Methodist Church. That church, William what is it, McKinley? What's the university in Lebanon?
Oh, McKendree.
He was a pastor in his early life. He was a pastor who preached sermons there, and there was several forts, Fort Russell and Camp Dubious, I think. The soldiers would ride their horses. They would ride their horses. They would ride their horses to hear that man's speech. So it's a very historic area there, and it bothers me that there's a lot of trash. So yes, we're meeting there at 9 o'clock. Well, get there early if you can, because we're going to do a photo shoot at 9 o'clock sharp. And that's the most important thing for me. And I encourage everybody, if you're coming to have a company shirt, of course, we'll have the vest and stuff, but you don't have to wear it for the photo shoot. So display your wares. Last year, the Shine Like Spencer group was out there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm hoping that they'll participate because their Spencer's charter is right down the road, and that's part of it. We'll be doing that area as well. But I don't want to interfere with all that. It's a personal thing with them, and
right.
I offer them support whenever we can. But yeah, I'm looking. Come on and have a good time. There's such a good feeling of fellowship and
it's a cool feeling
and networking. Yeah, when you're sitting there working with the policeman or the fireman or the mayor or the board chairman or whoever. In this case, it could be the senator tomorrow.
Well, and it has the Christmas vibe to it whenever you get together in a community. And no matter what time of the year it is, it's that really special feeling.
It's a really good feeling. Yeah. It's a really good feeling. And I've encouraged a lot of high school kids to come out. Unfortunately, we deal with the proms. And that's a problem, these prom moms. Prom moms. Oh, my son's got a prom. I can't come. And my daughter's got a prom. I can't come. It's from 9 to 11. The prom is that evening. I know that they got to be there to watch their daughter's hair curl and stuff. Come on, moms, give me a break. Show up.
I had a similar issue with a dance that I was in trouble for because, I can't say it on the air. I'll just keep moving on. I'm not going to rehash it. I'm just going to keep moving
out here on that one later on.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk later about that one. Yeah. Rusty, with that being said, no, I don't know when we're going to talk again. You're always welcome on, even if you just want to talk county-wide what's happening, regardless of trash. I think it's wonderful.
I'll still be out there in Chain Gang. Every Thursday I'm out there on 143, around 255 and 143. You could drive by. I got new barricades and stuff I painted up. It looks cool, man. Come on out there. I love it when people stop by and talk to me.
Now, other question. How's the exit into Wood River looking today?
Oh, it's excellent.
There we go.
It's excellent. Mayor Tom Stockup, you owe me that. You owe me that citizenship award. I've made your community look really good. They're having their recycle event today. I wish them the best, but by the same token, man, I never get any assistance from the Wood River for whatever reason. I guess they don't want to be associated with us down there in Wander. Whatever. Christine Burns, you're in charge of things now. Let's get that under control. I want some more volunteerism out of you people.
Oh my God, 9:52, Rusty Wheat, man. Whenever I see you again on this show, I know this ain't the last time. I just got a feeling it might not be for trash, but I'm gonna be talking to you, man, because your insights are really valuable.
I'm always interested in new activity, believe me. Yeah. So give me a call if you might got some ideas on something to do. I'm out of Belk Park every day. So
there you go. 9:52, a little bit of change. We'll come back and we're going to be talking with Brian from Make-A-Wish, Missouri and Kansas. They have the largest Walk for Wishes over in St. Louis, and over 600 children were there that were needing wishes this year from Make-A-Wish and were wanting to have their wishes fulfilled. They have on track 400 of those wishes are going to be fulfilled this year. They have a big fundraising goal, and we're going to learn all about it and all about this really important walk right after this on Riverbender.